Alright, so the last part of our spa school is going to be chemicals. This is typically one of the more challenging parts of maintaining your spa, but it doesn't have to be that difficult. I'm going to try to simplify it as much as I can for you. So we set everyone that buys a spa up with the at-ease system from Frog. And this is a great patented chlorine system that uses a special type of chlorine to make maintenance of your hot tub water as easy as possible. So these are the 2 cartridges that you're going to get in the system kit that we set you up with, and then you're going to get a bottle of test strips as well. So with the cartridges, this is going to be your chlorine cartridge, the silver one, and this is going to be your mineral cartridge right here. This cartridge needs to be replaced once a month, once every 3 to 4 weeks roughly, depending on use. The mineral cartridge is going to need to be replaced once every 3 to 4 months. So once a month, once every 3 to 4 months. The mineral cartridge, you can hear it shake. Just because you hear something in there does not mean that it's doing something. It'll quit working after 3 to 4 months. With the chlorine, you hear that in there. Once the chlorine is gone, it'll be empty. So once you don't hear anything rattling around in there anymore, it's time to replace it with a new cartridge. So I'm going to show you real quick where these go on a Marquis Spa that has the inline Frog system. Alright, so on a Marquis Spa with the inline system, you're going to see a cap like this on the perimeter of the top of the spa. This is where the cartridges are going to go. So you're going to take the cap off counterclockwise, just like that. And then you're going to have the holder, the cartridge holder, that is going to just like quarter turn and then lift straight out. So quarter turn counterclockwise, maybe even less than a quarter turn, and then it's going to lift straight up. And on the back here, you'll see bromine or smart chlor and minerals. So your blue one's going to go up top. It's just going to pop in like that. And your silver one is going to go in the bottom like that. So to set spas up, typically the way we like to set them up, I'll show you here, you have a small dial right here with a number. So you're going to twist the top here to set your blue one. We'll start it at a 5. This would be for a middle-sized spa, like a 7-foot, 350-gallon spa. A 5 would be a good setting for the blue mineral at ease. That's going to go clipped into the mineral right here. You can see the small holes right there that feed it in. And then for your smart chlor, we're going to open that up. That's going to be about the same on a small spa like this as well, or I say small, on a medium size. I'm going to go with a 5 right here. I typically set people up with a little bit higher setting when they first get a spa because the use is higher. When you first get your spa, you're probably going to be using it every day of the week, 5 days a week. After the new wears off, typically people use it maybe 2 to 3 days a week, once a week. So you can typically lower that setting down. You're not going to need as much chlorine in the water when you're not using it all the time. So got this at a 5, got this one at a 5. This one's going to pop in here on the bottom. You'll see the little groove that fits in the channel there. And then you're going to feed this straight down in there. Kind of press it down and give it that good quarter turn to lock it in. Lift up, make sure it's locked in. Then you're going to take the cap, and that's all there is to it. So we've got those both set at a 5, and they are in the inline holder. And then the next step is putting the jump start in. I'm going to grab a packet of the jump start and show you what that looks like. Alright, so once you have your cartridges and your hot tub is full of water and the power's on, you're going to add your jump start. So this is the jump start packet that comes in the startup kit right here. And the jump start is basically sodium dichlor. So I have a bottle of dichlor right here. We also give you a bottle of this in your startup kit. This is just a type of chlorine that is going to sanitize the water in your spa. So when you start it up, Frog gives you a small packet of dichlor that's pre-measured, and you can just open this packet up and dump it in the water. you want to make sure that you have the jets all on high and the cover open. And it's best to add this if the spa's been heating for a little bit. It'll dissolve faster. You don't have to add it when it's been heating, but it does help a little bit to add it after the spa is, say, at 95 degrees or hotter. So you just cut the corner of this, tear it open, pour it in the spa in the middle of the water here with the jets on high, both pumps on high, and the cover open. It's really important to leave the cover open because this will turn into a gas once it hits the hot water above 95 degrees, and it will off-gas off the top of the spa, and you don't want to tear up the pillows on the spa or the bottom of the cover. Chlorine gas can be corrosive to softer surfaces, so make sure you leave the cover at least halfway open so that it can breathe and the gas from the chlorine can escape the spa. Alright, now that we have the hot tub started up with the at-ease system and the jumpstart packet, let's talk about weekly maintenance. So there's a couple items here, there's a couple chemicals that you might need for weekly maintenance. You won't need them every week, but you may need them to adjust the water accordingly to how it's testing out. So I have pH up, pH down, and then I also have dichlor, which is the chlorine that we talked about that they use in the jumpstart. And then I have the serum total maintenance, and then I have the total cleanse from serum. This is like a once a year, twice a year type chemical. So I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. And then the test strips. These are going to be how you test the water to see what adjustments you need to make. So let's go ahead and open the test strip. Alright, I'm going to take a test strip, I'm going to go dip it in one of our wet spas, and then I will show you the readings. Alright, so I dipped this test strip in one of our wet spas over here, and I'm looking at the readings. Everything looks really good on the one I just tested, and a lot of times with the experience you can tell just by the look or smell of the water if it's balanced or not. It's the wet spa that we were looking at earlier in the video, and the water's perfect on it. So as you can see here on the indicator on the back of the bottle, we have the Smart Chlor indicator, which shows your chlorine level. That's going to be the top one here. So I like to lay the bottle on its side and then lay the test strip like that. So I'm nice and green there on my chlorine. The total alkalinity is right in the ideal range at 80. My pH is going to be right in the middle, maybe a little bit on the high side towards about a 7.6 or a 7.8. And then the total hardness looks really good. I'm right around 150 on the bottom end, which is preferably where you want to be on the lower side on the hardness scale. So everything looks really good, and I'll get a little bit closer so you can see every reading has an ideal bracket there of colors that you want to see. So it's kind of right towards the middle of the reading. And then the Smart Chlor indicator is just a light green. So if you have chlorine in the water, it's going to turn a light green color. And if it's very, very faint, that's okay too. Smart Chlor operates at a very, very low chlorine level. I just shocked that spa over there with sodium dichlor yesterday, I believe, so it's running a little bit higher. That's why it's a darker green, but Smart Chlor will register very low on the chlorine scale. So that's how you're going to take your readings. Now, to make adjustments, you're going to basically use the bottles here, and on the back of the bottle you'll have like a table that shows, depending on size of the spa, how much to use. So just use a measuring cup or a tablespoon dosing to adjust the chemicals in your spa. When you're making adjustments to the pH and the alkalinity, you're going to want to move in small increments, and you're going to want to give it about 4 hours to activate the water before retesting. So if you add 2 tablespoons of pH up because your pH is testing low, give it 4 hours with the chemical in the water, and make sure you run the jets to circulate it when you add the chemicals so that you can get an accurate reading when you go back and you test 4 hours later. It's not going to make the adjustment instantly. Give it at least 4 hours before retesting and adding any more chemicals. So you have pH up, pH down, and your dichlor. Your alkalinity is going to move with your pH. And then you have your total serum here. So this is a once-a-week chemical. This is going to keep any bacteria or unclean growth from happening in the plumbing and the equipment. It's just going to coat the plumbing and equipment. This is a medical grade cleaner, sanitizer that is used in the nursing home, hospital industry to clean bathtubs and whatnot. So really great chemical that they've adapted for the use of hot tubs. You're going to put 2 ounces once a week in your spa with the jets on, and this works really, really well. So 2 ounces once a week on this, and when you add the serum, I recommend adding some dichlor. So the dosage is going to depend on the size of your spa, but I typically like to add 2 to 3 tablespoons once a week. I will also add this dichlor after heavy use. So if we have a party, we have a bunch of people over, 5, 6, 7 people, or my kids are in it, neighborhood kids come over, I will shock it when they get out. It's really important when you put the dichlor shock in your spa to make sure, like I said before, the jets are on and the cover is open. It needs to breathe when you put this in there. So jets on, cover open for at least 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, 20 at an absolute minimum after you add this, to let the spa breathe and let that chlorine gas escape from the water. So once a week on these, or after heavy use on this. It's not going to hurt anything to shock it a little bit after heavy use. Put 1-2 tablespoons in after heavy use. On a small spa, you can get away with maybe 1 tablespoon a week. A bigger spa, a 500 gallon, 450, 500 gallon spa, probably 2 to 3 tablespoons on this. And in addition to the Smart Chlor cartridges that you have in there. So that about wraps it up for chemicals. That's going to be, like I said earlier, one of the bigger challenges in maintaining your spa. It's really just learning how the spa reacts, how your water in the area reacts, making sure if you have high calcium in your water, low pH, from the tap. Every city's a little bit different. Different states, water's a lot different, by the state. So just take your time, learn it. It's trial and error. Don't get too frustrated. If things get really out of whack, don't be scared just to drain the spa and start over. A lot of times, 300 or 400 gallons of water is less expensive than, a bunch of chemicals. So make small adjustments. If things get really out of whack, don't be scared to dump the water, start over. But the ADE system makes it really easy. It's the closest thing to autopilot for hot tub chemicals. So that concludes my Marquis Spa School video. I hope it's been helpful, informational. If you have any questions, please feel free to go to our website, fill out a form, comment on the YouTube channel. Any way we can help, we'd be happy to. Call our showrooms. We're here to help. So thanks again. All right, so I forgot to talk about the Total Cleanse from Serum. So this is an amazing chemical. It's a highly concentrated form of the Total Maintenance, and it comes in a gel form. You're going to want to use this when you drain your spa. So every 4 to 6 months when you go to drain, you're going to want to use this stuff right here. And most of the time, about half of this container, it's a purple gel, about half of this container is going to be enough to do the trick on your spa. So you're going to turn the jets on high, you're going to scoop out half of the container, you're going to put it in the spa. It's going to make your spa foam up really big, and it's going to clean all that junk out of the plumbing. Any kind of buildup, it's going to purge that out of the system. Once it does that, you're going to have foam like a bubble bath. It's going to be big. You're going to want to drain it. Once again, I think I talked about it earlier. A submersible pump's the best way to do this. Drain it quick. As you're draining it, you're going to want to rinse the foam down into the bottom of the footwell, because it can get kind of nasty if you let that foam stick to the side. It has a lot of dead bacteria in it, and it can be really tough to get off the spa. So rinse it good as it's draining, and then once it's drained all the way, as far as the sump pump can get it, take a shot back and shot back the remaining gunk, water, foam out of the bottom, and then it's time to refill your spa. So this is a great chemical to use to kind of reset your spa to factory condition from the inside water chemistry perspective, because if you don't do this, there's a lot of bacteria that is in the plumbing and in the pipes and in the equipment, the pumps and heater, that is going to affect your new water. When you fill it with new water, that bacteria is going to make it tougher to balance and keep your water clean and maintained. So another little hack I want to mention is make sure you rinse your bathing suits out in the sink with warm water to get all the detergent out of them. A lot of people that battle water chemistry on a hot tub, it's because they have a lot of soap in their bathing suit, and that's going to throw a lot of the water chemistry off. Another thing is tanning lotion, perfume, stuff like that can be tough on the water. It's going to come off in the water. You get in hot water, it's going to wash it right off of you, and now that perfume, tanning lotion, sunscreen is going to be floating around in the water. So rinse your bathing suits in the sink, and make sure you maybe rinse off, take a quick shower. If you have sunscreen, tanning lotion, hairspray, anything like that that can get in the water and contaminate it, you need to rinse off. So that is all, and happy hot tubbing.